I like haven't worn a bunch of my stuff aside from photo shoots from Drag Race because I was stressed out and gained some weight, but now I've lost it. So like I'm like being down here, I'm just feeling so inspired. Actually, should I just like get naked and try this all on? Hello, what's up divas? It's me, Rosé, from season 13 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Welcome to Out of the Closet, and specifically welcome to my drag dungeon. My apartment is 3 floors. The top floor is where the bedrooms are. We're currently in like the living area. There's an office, there's a backyard, and then the basement is, yeah, my dungeon. My lair, like a witch has a lair. In this space, I kind of wanted it to feel like a little drag warehouse. I'm really lucky that I have this whole floor. My last apartment, I was literally, my bedroom was like not very big, but it became fully like a medium-sized walk-in closet with a bed in it, and that was a nightmare. Now my bedroom is upstairs, it has 0 drag in it, and I love that. Well, there is makeup stains like all over the sheets, but that's, you know, one day I'll learn to take off my makeup before bed, but I haven't done that yet. I turned 28 and a literal week later, I gave birth to Rosé and did my first performance. And I was good at drag, you know. I looked terrible, really bad, but I didn't care. And back then that was like a part of my drag. Like I was really rough around the edges, and that's, you know, something that I worked really hard to get better at and to learn, you know, like makeup and my aesthetic. But I mean, essentially drag, it involves everything that I've been doing for years. I am laughing because I watched Katya's one. I watched Katya's episode of this, and she cracks up, and it's so funny.
Do you enjoy the fashion part of drag?
Yeah, I do. I'll be fair. I'll be fair and say that fashion is something that I'm always learning about. Of the parties that drag invites you to when you start doing it, fashion was probably the last one that I RSVP'd to. But I think I've like come a really long way. I do, yeah. I really love to express myself in the way I look. It is honestly, it's low-key such a shady question. It is such a shady question because you already know the answer. I love this. It's actually like literally kind of a piece of garbage, but this is very meaningful to me. This is from the Fascinator runway on Drag Race, and I wore this with like a big pink ruffly dress, surprise. I am not a look queen, no, by any stretch of any gymnast. I am not a look queen, no. But I mean, I turn looks sometimes, but that's not my strength. That's not what I do. This is my promo dress. Our theme for season 13 was pastels. So I obviously was like, okay, well, I have to do pink. I used to wear like only pink, and I would only wear pink hair. And I really felt like an obligation on Drag Race to do that, but like now I don't. I like to wear pink, but I really don't enjoy wearing pink hair that often. That is a f***ing lie. The other day I actually wore this. I wore this wig, and I got my whole f***ing life, bitch. I was like, okay, I do still love pink hair. It's definitely my color. I was obsessed with the pink Power Ranger, Kimberly, when I was growing up. And I was also obsessed with like Princess Peach and just like really like feminine things and people and characters in my childhood that were kind of like not really socially widely acceptable to, you know, proclaim my love for. And so when I started doing drag, I was like, I want it to be a pink explosion, and like a wine ad popped up and I was like, oh my God, Rosé, that's perfect, and that's pink. And so, yeah, when I started doing drag, I like almost only wore pink. I only wore pink hair. I still love the color pink, but I've since expanded. I'm more of a blonde. Florence Delee made my finale eleganza look, which is a few different pieces. I love period drag. I love it. I don't know why. I get off being like a centuries old diva queen. So I love this. and Florence is just the bestiana at it. When I was in high school, I wanted to be an opera singer, and I think I've always kind of like, in the back of my mind, really regarded that kind of like, I don't know, like to me, nothing says like queen more than like a literal, like the image, like the worldly classic image of a queen, you know? It makes me feel really powerful when I'm like in like period garb. I don't know why. I love it though. So this is the headpiece that I wore in the finale. We had, of course, that insane ball where we had to like bring 6 million looks, and one of the prompts was red all over. So my very, very good friend and designer, Casey Caldwell, made that look and made this. You know the movie The War of the Worlds? Like how like when people die, like their blood becomes like all those vines. That's kind of what I was inspired by. I don't know why that is so weird and creepy, but that is definitely what I wanted to be that day, so good for me. You know, we're all inspired by pop culture, but I take a lot from theater. It's at the core of like everything I do, obviously, and not just like, you know, actors but characters that I've fallen in love with, you know, growing up or wanted to play, I think really inspire the way that I want to look. This is a take on a Balmain silhouette, but it's inspired by Bette Midler's iconic polka dot dress in the movie Big Business. Also over here, I don't have the jacket out because it's absolutely hideous, but I do have this cute little skirt that might work for something one day. But this is the lower half of my yellow runway. That is not orange, Michelle Visage. It's orange. I'll be honest, it's definitely giving, like here's like a true yellow. So it's definitely giving like a mandarin compared to like this canary, but bitch, it's yellow. But I love Jim Carrey. Is where I was going with that. This was a look inspired by the movie The Mask. And fun fact that I don't think I've ever disclosed, on Drag Race, the filming schedule, sometimes you film a main stage challenge and then you go and you have some time to prepare for a runway, and you do that, you know, in the same calendar day. And on this day, I had to go from the Rusical, where I was, you know, a lovely, slutty lady who sings beautifully, into a green-faced goblin in like no time at all. So that was really fun. I love this dress so much. This is made by Casey Caldwell, again, who's one of my really good friends, who also made this, my bagpipes dress. This is a very iconic rack, to be honest, for me. Loved this look. This was also made by Casey. This is my Beast Couture look. It looks, oh, it's shedding. Oh, Joey J, chicken feathers. Hi, Joey. It looks actually busted on the hanger if you ask me, but on, it looks amazing. This is one with the horn hair and like red skin, and I made those little ears. I made the ears, I painted them. Calm the down, Rosé, you didn't make. We kind of like drew inspiration from Pan's Labyrinth. I love doing like alien, like, you know, skin tone drag transformations, and I was comfortable with doing a red one, so I was like, work, let's do that. This is the base of my reveal look. It's made by someone I have not talked about yet, whose name is Casey. Do I only work with one I don't. But I'm literally looking at this rack, and on this rack alone, I'm seeing even more, wow. Well, apparently I've been feeding this person and every family member of theirs for years, because downstairs everything was, yeah, Casey is a very good friend of mine, Casey Caldwell, a Brooklyn-based designer. Casey and I, we started like, we just go shopping and like talk and find fabric as we go and like have a nice coffee. And then, you know, he sometimes will start like making stuff before he even sketches it, and then it's always to my liking. So we've kind of like sussed out what that partnership is. This is one of my favorite dresses ever. This is from the Beads runway on season 13. This dress was made by a dear friend, Abraham, and the beading was designed and mostly done by my best friend, Laguna Blue, who lives a few blocks away. She is a really talented drag queen, and her artistry is out of this world. This actually weighs so much. When I got to Drag Race, it was like crushed in my suitcase a little bit, so I had to like hand sew the pockets back into their shape. That's some tea. What people saw of me on Drag Race had such an influx of Laguna's creativity and talent. Laguna is one of my best friends, and she's an incredible drag queen. A lot of my like most stunning and proud physical features of my wardrobe on Drag Race are because of Laguna. It just sucks that she's such a friend and a terrible lover. We also have this little memento from one of the first episodes of season 13. Oh my God, I haven't worn this in so long. This is from the Lady and the Vamp runway. And that was like one of, I think, my more successful looks. It was made by Diego Montoya. It was inspired by Alexander McQueen. I should wear that again. I was really terrified going into Drag Race because even though I was very confident as a queen, as a person, I felt like I really knew who I was and what I was good at. And I had studied the show for years. It was my favorite TV show. I watched it every day. I was terrified because I had just watched in the previous year 2 of my really close friends go in there just as amped and hyped and prepared as I was and not do as well as they thought they might. And we were all gagged. And that's just what Drag Race is like. You never know what might happen. So the Vamp look that I love so much, this is the bodysuit. I mean, this would just look so cute with like a boot or like even a pump. And like really long black hair with like snakes in it. Maybe like some makeup, maybe not. God, I can't wait. I just love drag. Getting outside of that fear was one of my bigger issues. And once I did that, I kind of realized, I was like, oh, that's like the whole theme of me here and maybe of my whole life is like, okay, so you can do all these things, but like, can you actually just like chill and like just do them? And like have fun. Because I didn't really have fun until like halfway through the season. Granted, it was because I recognized that I was doing well, and that's very fun. But I also was generally like, you know, opening up and like making friends and doing more than just creating a TV show or competing. So Drag Race is hard, it really is. What encourages me to take a leap in my life is the proof I've already, you know, gained or experienced that taking chances and risks is like almost always has a huge payoff. No, it always does. It might not always be positive at first, but like change is so good and necessary. I love that I still have this. I mean, I brought it back so I could photograph it. Truly a piece of garbage, but you know, on the day that I made it was quite stunning. This is from the ball episode, and I made this little bra and belt skirt combo. And oh my God, would you look at that? Here we have my sewing machine without a cord or a pedal because I never use it. Actually, this is the first time I've seen it since I got back from Drag Race. I was really stressed during the ball. I didn't know what I was making until like the end of the day. I like went through so many options. It's like that thing where you want to show range. So me, not a, you know, constructor or seamstress, I was like, I'll make this caged skirt with a hole in it, and then I don't know how to do any of that. So I was like trying to, you know, so yeah, I was stressed. Until everyone got ready, and then I looked around and I was like, oh, I look, and I saw Lala, and I was like, okay, work. I was like, we're doing a ball today, let's go. I made this, again, I made it. I stoned it and glued this chain to it. This was a little wine glass clutch that I entered the workroom with on the first day of Drag Race. And I love this so much. It's so funny to look back on this stuff and remember how fancy it felt, and now to hold just actual garbage. This is an actual can of the product that I made for the branding challenge, Rosé. Be perfect now was the slogan. I don't think I've been perfect ever. Fun fact, I think inside these, if I remember correctly, because I had to drink one on set when we were filming, it's non-alcoholic beer. I choose to live my life the way I want to live it by putting myself first. I've learned in my life that if I'm not fully taken care of by me, if I'm not cool with the bitch in the mirror, then everyone else is, as far as I'm concerned. So, you know, to live my life the way I want to live it as somebody who can supply for others and help people and be an example for people, I have to be a really good example for myself. So yeah, I take care of myself. when you get on Drag Race, you just buy a bunch because you need, shoes in every color. All of the shoes that I normally buy online, I couldn't find them anywhere, and in like no colors. The only thing I could find were these lime green, literally like glow in the dark UV moment pumps. And so I bought like 10 pairs of them, and I had to hand paint all of them different colors. So these green ones are lime green, I think. These blue ones I think are lime green. These yellow ones, these lavender ones. A bunch of these pink ones, you can see the lime green coming through. Little fun fact about Rosé is that her secret is that her shoes are actually very abrasive lime green. It's a transformative experience to watch yourself on TV. It was very exciting, but very difficult and painful, and I say that as someone who did do really well on the show pretty consistently. It's wild to think that you have such a clear idea of who you are, and to bring and your artwork and your artist, like your identity in that way. It's a very sensitive, place to perform on the biggest stage in the world and to be critiqued by a few people in the room. That's one thing. But for the whole world to chime in, it's very jarring. And even when you do well, it can be traumatic and kind of crazy. It's been over a year since we filmed the season, and we're approaching the 1-year mark now of when it started airing. And I'm just now feeling like really comfortable again, like with like every part of who I am in and out of drag. It's a really interesting process. It's also obviously so exciting. When we crowned the winner and the top 4 was sitting like watching it live, and I had that huge tall blonde wig that was meant for the finale, but it got lost in the mail. So I had a few wigs like sourced and made just in case. And one of the wigs that I had just like made just in case was this. This is me and Gottmik's favorite wig ever. And it's not because of how beautiful it is, which it is quite beautiful, and I didn't end up wearing it, and I've never worn it. We love it because for some reason, the wig designer decided to add a little bird's nest with 2 eggs. And I do not understand. I did not ask for bird's eggs or a nest. It has nothing, absolutely zero to do with the look, zero to do with me. I have never said anything about birds. Actually, I dislike birds. Let's even go that far. But yeah, I love this. I can't wait to wear it one day. My Mary Queen of Scots wig, which looked way cuter back then. But I could never throw this away. And I've worn this a lot because I made a lot of content. Look at the little braid detail. This is made by one of my favorite wig stylists and designers, Diana Dash, who's in Brooklyn. Yeah, I really wanted people to know I was Scottish. I really, really pounded that one in. Drag Race is a chance to finally put together like a collection of stuff that inspires you. And I love being Scottish, and it's as a Scottish American, person, it's a treat for me to get to wear a kilt and to wear tartan, and it's something that I love that I feel represents me and where I come from. So yeah, it's always something that I've wanted to express in my drag. But now that I've done it so much in 1 year, I think I can give it a rest. I would 5,000,000% redo the Boulevard dress, and the designer and I kiki about how ugly it was. Like, it was, listen, like, you know how much time, and some things are really last minute, and that one showed up done right when I was about to go out the door for the airport. Now I would wear something so slutty and tiny and sexy and something that speaks to like my drag, like that, nothing about that. Oh my God. And speaking of styling, it was awful. It was awful, but it's also so funny. Out of drag, my physique is very harsh. As Gottmik recently said, my ancestors came out of the cave and said, I don't need evolution. I always thought that because I had like a big face and head and really strong, sharp bone structure and like broader shoulders, that I needed to make my whole body kind of bigger to make my face look more feminine and petite. And that's why I like, for a while, just wore really big sponge costumes. And I've learned, you know, I don't really do that anymore. And it's so funny, this is something that I brought as an extra to Drag Race. And I actually did wear it. But I wore it towards the end of the season in the branding challenge to make fun of myself. Or no, I didn't wear it. No, one of the pit crew members wear it. Oh, it's still fresh. I think my style has evolved since being on the show. It makes more sense sometimes. I understand more so what I'm going for and how to execute it. And I have, you know, I have a much clearer understanding of what doesn't work. That really helps. I think I've become visually much more refined. I learned that I take almost everything way too seriously. I have to chill out. And life is not that serious. And it's like, under RuPaul's guidance specifically, I feel like, you know, that's a huge lesson for young people, and maybe also Tina, you know, is that there is so much value in just not giving up. Okay, divas, well, listen, I've so enjoyed showing you my home and my closet and you know, sharing a piece of my rosé with you. But I have to ask you all to get out because it is almost Christmas and I am the Grinch, so I've got some stealing to do, so get out. Thank you. Bye. I am a perfectionist. I've said this before. You know who else is a perfectionist? Beyonce. So like, come at me, bro. Like, who cares?